Have you ever been in a conversation and suddenly there's a silence? That awkward pause where your brain just screams, "Say something interesting, anything." You feel this immense pressure to be witty, insightful, or entertaining. If you've ever felt that, you're not alone. It's a feeling almost everyone experiences. But have you ever stopped to wonder why? Why are we so obsessed with being interesting? Well, it turns out this isn't just a modern social quirk. It's deeply rooted in our psychology and our evolutionary past. Today, we're going to dive into the science behind our desperate need to be interesting, how social media has hijacked this basic human drive, and most importantly, how we can find a healthier way to connect with others. Let's rewind the clock way back. Imagine our early ancestors living in small groups. In that world, information wasn't just interesting. It was a matter of survival. Knowing where to find food, how to avoid a predator, or which plants were safe to eat was critical. The person who could provide this valuable information wasn't just a good storyteller. They were an essential part of the group's survival. They were respected, protected, and had a higher social standing. Being a source of interesting or useful information meant you were more likely to be valued, which in turn increased your chances of surviving and passing on your genes. This deep-seated need to share and receive valuable information became hardwired into our brains as a fundamental social tool. In a way, being interesting was a prehistoric superpower. Fast forward to today. That ancient survival instinct is still there, but it's operating in a radically different environment. The world of social media. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and X have taken our innate desire to be interesting and turned it into a game with a scoreboard. Every like, share, and follower is a point. We're no longer just sharing information to help our tribe survive. We're crafting a persona, a brand of interesting that can be measured and validated in real time. Think about it. We see people going on incredible adventures, sharing profound thoughts, or creating hilarious skits. The reward for their interesting content is immediate and quantifiable: viral fame, brand deals, and a massive following. Social media has essentially created an economy of attention where being interesting is the currency. This constant exposure to perfectly curated, highly engaging content amplifies our own internal pressure. We start to believe that our own lives, our own thoughts, need to be just as polished and fascinating to be worthy of attention. The quiet, simple moments of life don't seem to make the cut in this high-speed digital world. So what's happening inside our brains when we post something and watch the likes roll in? This is where the neuroscience gets really fascinating. Every time you get a notification, a positive comment, a new follower, your brain gets a little hit of a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. It's the same chemical that's released when we eat delicious food, achieve a goal, or experience something enjoyable. Your brain's reward system essentially says, "Hey, that felt good. Let's do that again." This creates a powerful feedback loop. You post something you think is interesting. You get positive social feedback, your brain releases dopamine. You feel good. And then you feel the urge to do it all over again to get another dose of that pleasurable feeling. This is the exact same mechanism that can lead to addiction. We become addicted to the validation, the feeling of being seen and approved of as interesting. This loop can be so powerful that it starts to dictate our behavior. We start thinking in terms of what would make a good post, rather than what we genuinely want to experience. We're constantly chasing that next dopamine hit. But here's the dark side. Living under the constant pressure to be on, to be interesting, is exhausting. It can lead to serious burnout and anxiety. When our self-worth gets tied to how many likes we get, our mental health is riding a roller coaster we can't control. We start performing for an audience instead of forming genuine connections. Conversations become transactions where we're trying to win by being the most interesting person in the room, rather than actually listening and connecting with the person in front of us. This pressure to perform can make us feel incredibly lonely and disconnected, even when we're surrounded by people or have thousands of followers online. We're so busy crafting a perfect image that we lose touch with our authentic selves. The joy of just being, of sharing a quiet moment or an imperfect thought, gets lost in the noise. So how do we break free from this cycle? How do we find a healthier balance? It's not about deleting all your social media and becoming a hermit. It's about shifting your mindset from performing to connecting. First, try to cultivate genuine curiosity. Instead of worrying about what you're going to say next, focus on what the other person is saying. Ask open-ended questions. Be genuinely interested in their story, their perspective. Be amazed at how much the pressure lifts when you stop seeing conversation as a performance and start seeing it as an exploration. Second, practice active listening. This means putting your phone away, making eye contact, and truly hearing what someone is saying, without just waiting for your turn to speak. When people feel truly heard, a powerful connection is formed, and it has nothing to do with you being interesting. And finally, embrace authentic self-expression. Share what you're genuinely passionate about, not what you think will get the most likes. Share your weird hobbies, your half-formed ideas, your vulnerabilities. Authenticity is magnetic. People are drawn to what is real, not what is perfect. Being yourself is far more interesting and sustainable in the long run than any persona you could ever create. It's about choosing connection over validation and realizing that you are already enough, just as you are. The next time you feel that pressure to be interesting, take a deep breath. Remind yourself to be curious instead. To listen, to be real, that's where true connection lies. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you ever felt this pressure? Share your experiences in the comments below. Let's have a real conversation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.